Welcome back, guys. Same night for us, but different video for you guys. As you guys saw last video, we dived in head first, got this thing all pulled apart. Big thanks to Jamie for helping out. He's a little more familiar with this 8th gen, 9th gen chassis than I am. I mainly have dealt with the EKs and older from my earlier years, but here she is. Mugen part out. Anybody looking for parts? Just kidding. She is very apart. He's getting everything out right now to get these motor mounts out. Obviously these things are not going to be up to the task here, so we have ourselves a nice brand new set of Hassport mounts. So like I said before, these things are best in the game. Hassport's been doing it since the beginning, and to be honest with you, I've always gone towards their mounts. Great results, great fitment. So let me get this box cut open here. Had the tracking information on it, but I was not showing it at first. But here we go. First time seeing it, obviously, it's sealed up. I do like how they send their stuff. It's all wrapped up in paper. So we'll get the things out of here. Here we are. Made in USA. Hassport. Crazy part is this is actually an EK mount. Jamie was telling me about this. But you can see right there, it really says EKK, right hand mount. But we're going to be using that on here. And the reason why it uses the same mount is because it actually has a bracket that adapts to it. And you got to think, it's kind of like with manufacturers of cars, you know, make it easier on yourself if you can build a mount that fits more than one car, obviously. That is the transmission one. So we'll get that one over. This is a driver one, or sorry, passenger one. I always think driver because that's how the B series were when they were oriented that way. This is the transmission axle mount. That other one was the bracket. Doing this one hand is fun. So there's that one. I think this was also an EKK. Well, apparently we got an EK mount kit, Amy. The fuck?
I think they just basically make brackets.
Yeah, I think they just, this is obviously a different bracket than the EK one. Yeah, I know that. Which, I mean, that's good business move to do that. Right. Now we're going to spend the first 20 minutes of the video me unboxing shit with one hand. So I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can for you guys. There's a bunch
nuts and bolts, I think.
Yeah, well, I don't think you guys want to see nuts and bolts. Well, I'm going to get the rest of this out. Here's the driver one. Anyone wants to see a bracket? That's what a bracket looks like. So, nice, yeah, nice bracket there. Yeah, we're going to get these things mounted in the engine bay. I'm going to clean up my mess, and we're going to get ready. Like I said, that's going to go over in the corner. I'll push it to the side for now because I want to pull the plugs, drop some ATF in it, crank it over, store it. That way, obviously, temperature change, it doesn't get rust in there. So, put that aside. And then we got to go get old Krusty over there. Looks like she's been at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know what hurricane that thing was under. Hear me out, Jamie.
Low miles, man.
I don't think I can do it. But in the comments, they're saying we should name this Milton.
Milton?
Milton.
And what is that a piece from?
Well, apparently Jamie doesn't know. I went down there peak hurricane, remember?
Oh.
Very peak hurricane, yeah. Shit was all over the roads.
That makes more sense now.
Everyone's yard was a yard sale. That shit was everywhere. So, I don't think it's going to be Milton here. I don't know if I can call it. I mean, it's got M, right? Mugen, Milton.
Mugen Milton, huh?
What should we name it? I just call it the Mugen Si. Yeah. That's what I call it. We'll call it Daryl. Yeah. No offense to any Daryls out there, but Daryl.
And his other brother, Daryl.
Yeah, I don't know what to name it yet. Drop down what you guys think. Yep. Should we name this thing? If so, what is it? I'm not good at that. Or it will be forever the Mugen Si. Let me know. Thanks, pal. Jamie's over here fucking picking out shit. I'm already picky as it is, pal. Yeah. He found a Dean in the bottom of the passenger door. I'm about ready to crush the car. Yep. Yeah. No. Here, everybody want to know where it is?
Right here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
And there's one
right there. Too. No, just stop looking. I'm gonna have to get my PDR guy out here. All right, let's assess the situation at hand here. One, that's a big ass hole.
Yes.
There ain't nothing here. So. The situation that we're dealing with right now, gas tank, like I told you guys, has to come out. Fuel lines are no longer used to me, so This is going to be our evap and fuel line right here that comes down. These run up. So those two guys, fuel line, evap on like something like an EK. We pulled these out because I'm not obviously using those. Going to be a similar deal with these. I end up pulling these out, leave the bracket, not the crusty ass bolt. That shit's getting replaced. But the rear brake lines run here, so we'll leave the bracket here, along here, come down. We're gonna have to pop some shields off. That way we can get to the gas tank, and then pop this tank out. See what we got involved. First time pulling the gas tank, huh?
Yeah. I know there's some lines for the evap, but other than that, I think it's just strapped and bolted front and back. So, and luckily you ran this thing pretty low on fuel. We obviously got the filler neck. That I mean, that's pretty easy to come off too.
I can tell you, this thing's about as bone dry as dry gets.
Which is good because they get sloshy and they get heavy.
So, well, we got the trans jack that we could put under it too.
Yeah.
But, well, time to get this thing undone. Like I said, I'm not gonna take the fuel lines off until we get this deal tackled, which is pretty important for Fab because obviously it's a key factor. This shit needs to come out. So I'm debating, do we tackle it right now or do I tackle it later? Tackle it now or tackle it later?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. What I did with my evap, I just took the grinder, cut it, slid it out because I'm not going to reuse that stuff. And but I wouldn't advise cutting gas with a grinder.
You hear Jamie where he says, oh yeah, just get the grinder out, sparks and fuel, no problem. So, we'll fix the whole shop.
and I'm utilizing the feed as a return, so I kept that. But
hear me out. The only reason why I'm debating right now, one, I don't have hubs, right? Car can go together, T-case can be in, car can run and drive, front wheel drive, but I'm not going to use this fuel system. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's still pointless.
Yeah. It has to come out.
It has to come out.
Eventually, but
I say we just pull it out.
Yeah.
Because it's going to save us time over at Fab anyway, so.
Yeah, we'll get these shields out of the way and we'll just get this thing loose and drop down. There's nothing that holds it up top.
No.
So, I mean, it can hang down. We can get the evap canister and stuff out of the way.
Okay. Well, we'll start popping these shields off, guys. I don't have any kind of stand on here. I'll try to get a different mount, one that mounts it to my face.
Yeah.
For you guys or something. I used to have
the POV.
Someone sent me one right up here. It worked great, but then the strap got broke or something. I'll get something. That way you guys have a little bit more in-depth content on this, but for now you're gonna see me kind of jumping around. So let's get that stuff out and way to go, pal. Safety glasses, come on.
Yeah.
Perfect timing there, bud. You can explain how you plan on making this thing all-wheel drive or what?
We're gonna fucking get rid of this spider.
No, Chris is all worried about this Florida spider. You Florida boys got some crazy spiders out there.
Look at all those fucking egg sacs.
That dog, she was sitting. I'm gonna put him on her shoulder.
No.
Well, Chris is over here, so he can explain what we got going on here.
What do you want me to explain?
Well, what's our game plan?
We're gonna take it from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive.
Thanks. Great plan in there, Chris. Chris had a pretty good plan to start with. Obviously, we're going to just start with the simplistic side of dropping the subframe down to try to clear the T-case and see how far we got to go or what's involved. Not going to know until I have that in there, which we're hoping to set the motor in tonight, but it's probably going to be a tomorrow deal at this rate.
Probably.
Because Chris is afraid of spiders and he keeps making me walk around the car. This shit's clean, Chris.
Except where the spiders are.
No, I mean, ain't that bad. Oh yeah, forgot to show you guys. No more fuel tank. By the way, had a good gallon or two left, so I would have made it to the shop, even though I was worried. But there's a lot of room back here. That's probably the best part. Nice part is I don't have to cut into this at all, like that car, because the diff's gonna be right here. We got plenty of room to mount our bar. Now, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that the bar either A mounts to here or here. Pretty sure it went there, right, Chris? You watched the same video.
I believe it.
Yeah, I think it mounts here. If I remember right, it was right on that section, goes across. Imagine a bar there.
I'm gonna
And get
disagree.
the bar. Really?
That's too far back. I think it goes
That's
right
pretty
here.
far back, yeah.
Right here.
It might be, yeah. It might be right there. You're right. Because, yeah, obviously the disc back there, then why put the bar there. Jamie's got the goods. He's got the bar. You know, that's pretty well wrapped. Just set that hoe up there. Ow. Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Definitely doesn't go there. It goes there.
How can it go right there? Because it's kind of thin right there.
Well, that, you know what that sounds like?
Trim to fit.
That sounds like a fabricator problem, not me problem. So that's what that sounds like. Well, we got the gas tank out, by the way, until I got bombarded by Chris freaking out in here. Oh, now you got it? All right, bet.
It's either a trim to fit or...
I don't think it goes that far. I think it goes right there.
Right here?
No, I think it goes out here.
That's what I would have thought too, but it's just too dang short.
Well, that's very interesting. Well,
pull up their video.
That's all right.
Like you said,
ain't our problem. It's your problem.
My problem.
That's your problem. We gotta build a new bar. We gotta build a new bar.
You gotta get rid of the spiders.
Dude, calm down.
Every time he brings a part over to my shop, he sets it down and a widow crawls out.
Hey, we sprayed. By we, I mean Travis. Okay, he sprayed the whole perimeter. Calm down. You got the same shop. He's literally next door.
Okay, pest control.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have the time that you do on your hands to go through and spray everywhere. All right, well, continue putting these motor mounts in because we got sidetracked by this fuel tank, which was pretty light, by the way. I just want you guys to know, Chris has diagnosed what spider it was. What was it?
It was a fucking widow.
What kind of widow?
Brown widow.
I just learned something new. Apparently, a brown widow is a black widow, just not black. It's brown. Imagine that.
The brown variety.
Chris said that he's gonna name it, and it's his pet. By his pet, we sprayed brake cleaner on it, and it no longer is in the terms of being a pet.
It's done.
It's done. Mount is going on finally. We got sidetracked.
A little bit.
Mainly because of Chris. He's so worried about spiders. It's like he's almost got bit by a black widow before. Yeah, something like that. All right, Jamie's just wrapping up right now. You think we should put that one in the car, actually?
This one?
I would put that one in that mount, and then we can drop it down onto it.
We could, yeah. Because we're going to lower the car down onto it.
Yeah.
So, but this one will suck underneath. I mean, I put it from the top, so it was hard to get away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always go from the bottom on these things, so that's why it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Doing a K24 swap on these things. This is the OEM motor mount part number you'll need if anybody needs it. Hopefully that focuses. This is a CRV K24 mount. So this is what you would need. I bought one obviously, and it's here for Fab, but the downfall is we're not going to be using it because, well, as you can tell, things escalated, and that intake manifold requires some modifications to this water pump housing that I didn't sign up for. So thankfully, the white EK in the background that everybody says that they do want to see, and I will make a point of that, just not this video. I did an electric water pump on it, so I had its housing that I spent way more time than I ever want to admit to you guys on. And that one fits mint. But the downfall is that I need to buy the billet mount over here that has an idler, because now there is obviously no more spot to bolt an idler. So that's all right. Finding it out now. I'll get it ordered. We're just getting those Passport mounts mounted up here. As you can tell, we got the transmission bolted up to the K24. I know this thing is not the prettiest thing right now. I promise I will not put it in finally like this, but for Fab, this is going to work just fine. It's not going to stay clean anyway. So I'm going to go ahead, get this thing. Probably, should we put it on the rollers?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So we'll
just so we get the right height.
We're going to lift that thing off, put this thing on the rollers, roll it underneath, drop the car down, probably do a time lapse for you guys. At least get it dropped in the car tonight, so that way tomorrow is going to be quite a bit more straightforward, I would hope, depending on how that subframe ordeal works. But like we told you guys, not our problem. And then we'll figure out how to get this thing next door. Otherwise, they're going to be building everything right here, which thankfully, like I said, just next door, so that's not going to be a problem. But damn, this thing is dirty. Gonna get this thing dropped in. It's been a long day. Been up since 4 a.m. It is now 11 p.m. So definitely a long day. Feeling it. But I want to get this thing sitting in here before we end the night out, and then we have a really good start to the day tomorrow. The joys of GoPros. They click different buttons. So fortunately, I had it on time lapse. Apparently, I decided to want to take a photo instead. Here we are. K24 is sitting in. All drive trans is in. Now, lots of cleanup to do here. Definitely my OCD is going a bit crazy right now, but for Fab, this will work. Now we're going to put it in the air, show you guys what it looks like in the T-case. Now keep in mind, angle of the dangle here is probably going to change because we got 2 mounts on. So, but let's see where this T-case is landing. See what happens here. It's going to take a minute to go up. Yes, I know the lift is a little bit slow. Man, it's been a while since I've been up this late. I would say this thing was made for it. Look at where the T-case lands. It's literally perfect in the tunnel. Honda, why did you not make this shit all-wheel drive from factory? Because that thing is literally perfect.
Yeah.
Jamie, when are you going all-wheel drive? When the hell is it happening? It's happening soon now.
It's gonna have to happen soon.
I know it's happening soon. Look at that. That shit was made for it. It's literally dead center.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have put it better within this.
Wow.
Now you know where the curiosity comes from.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, the angle's gonna change.
Yeah, the angle's gonna change a little bit. It'll probably go up a little bit like you got right there.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be ideal, obviously.
Right.
Look how much room for activities back here. We could put a 42R back here. Not that I would ever want to work on that, but we could.
No.
Fuck yeah. Got the motor sitting in there tonight. That's a good night. Alright, we're gonna clean up and I will see you guys in the morning. All refreshed. Ready to go. Ready to make progress. Ready to see how we're gonna do this front so it can roll over its way to Fab and be their problem.
Yep.
Yep. Lee. Welcome back. It is the next morning. I'm definitely feeling our late night from last night. I'm running like 3 hours sleep at best. Car's in the air. I did a couple of small things this morning I want to show you guys, and I did set the intake manifold up there. Right now we're going to start the morning out with the subframe and see what kind of hurdles we are going to be running through. I did pull the oil pan. Jamie's on his way out with Z3 pan because I don't want to pull my old one off. And the K24 pan is not going to work because it does not have the engine mount that goes into the subframe. So Z3 pan does sit lower. We'll get into that subject a whole nother day when we're doing the motor stuff. But for now, we're going to put the Z3 pan on so we can get the mounts made, especially if we're going to be dropping this subframe because we will need to remake the mount on the oil pan. So I'm going to sit the car down, see how far off we are. I have measured, and by no means am I a fabricator. That's why I have those guys doing this and not me. But T-case is 11 inches over from this bolt hole here. You take 11 inches from that same bolt hole and it puts T-case pretty much center this, which is ideal, best case, because I was worried about it hitting this motor. Obviously, we're still gonna have to space it down, but we won't know how bad till we put this thing down, and then we'll see if we're fucked. Abandon whole project. All right, so we got this thing sitting down. One issue we've ran into is that obviously on this car it uses 2 side mounts, and then we use a front mount and one in the oil pan. Well, the front mount and the oil pan are both on that subframe, so the motor, it shows in the video right now, it's moving, right? Because it's not at the right angle. It needs it to support it to move the engine at its right angle. And we're already touching the subframe, but because of the motor being angled back, it's making it look worse than it is. So if we look here, this is about our gap from the car, and you can see, if I get this under here, the T-case is on it. So all right, so the last clip you guys saw, we got the subframe mocked up, and the honest answer, this shit ain't gonna work. At least not with this electronic steering. So people have spaced this thing up, which then involves us cutting up our firewall into our precious Mugen, and I ain't about that. So not only that, they say that this electric motor goes up by your feet by the gas pedal. Also not about that. So the electric motor is right there that you guys can see. Transmission bell housing is pretty much making full contact right now on that. And we have a pretty large gap, larger than what 2 inches looks like on a measuring tape. Measuring tape deal, this looks like it would be a solid plan, but the honest answer is it's not. So with a little bit more research and looking around, I am going to try to switch the electronic steering out of this car that I am not happy about doing to standard old power steering rack. So what we have here, somehow locally they had one of these in stock, which I'm kind of surprised. This is a 2008 Civic DX steering rack, so it does mount the same on the subframe. And this is just your standard old hydraulic fluid rack. So whether we loop the rack and not have power steering, or we buy some form of an aftermarket pump kit, which is what I'm leaning towards, and mount that somewhere else, because it would be nice to retain it in this car. Normal Honda Boy, obviously, that does not have power steering. It's not as bad. Big old Burfoot over here though, with no power steering, not really feeling that. So we're gonna put this thing back in the air, take that steering rack off the subframe, sit this up in the car, and see how things start to look. The plan is to space this rack above the transfer case, and then that should work, should fix a lot of the problems. We're still gonna have to have the issue of doing a bump stop kit on the tie rods there, if I could speak. My tiredness is showing. So I'm gonna lift this thing back up. We're gonna get this electronic motor off. I'll show you guys what that looks like. And then we're gonna sit this in the car, see how much we can go up in the car with it and what's gonna come of that. But hopefully this will be a little bit more straightforward than what this is. And then we won't have to run any kind of spacers on the subframe. We should be able to just bolt that back in factory spots. Put the oil pan on it, which Jamie just got here, so we can put that on. Put the engine mount on the subframe, back in spot. We don't got to rebuild no motor mount, so that seems like the best route instead of trying to reinvent the wheel with this electronic steering. Obviously raised up, subframe still on the ground. Gonna give this thing a rim job, clean her up because she's a little. We got the anti-rust grease on there, but here's that big ass electronic motor that's really fucking my day right now. How far do you think we can throw this thing?
How far?
How far? I'm about to yeet this shit across the field.
Or into my
Not happy right now about this, but we don't got a choice because I ain't cutting the floor in this thing to put this up in there. So gonna pull this thing off. As you can tell, that one's 180'd off, but it should bolt the exact same way. It's the same damn car. Nice, it even has the mount over there. A minute. Jamie's never gonna let me live it down. What you don't see at the end of the clip last night when I was the hood prop and I forgot I was the hood prop. Yeah, I dropped that shit on Jamie. I walked away and I heard a dunk and then Jamie's just gone. Yeah, you guys will never get to see that. No.
It's a memory. Here's our rack. Here's our subframe. These importers didn't drain the transmission, so that was a fun surprise. When we took the T-case off, because I took the T-case off to put the rack in, and then we ran into problem number 10. The side frame here is definitely not going to work with pushing the rack up, so that's got to get modified, which should have thought of that. That's all right. Now you know what that sounds like. Fabricator problem.
That's not my problem. That's a them problem. So this, I just wanted to show you guys where it is, what's going on. T-case, obviously this shit's in the way of it. It's got to go up quite a bit. So I wonder, for mock-up hers, can we bend these down at all? Yeah, no, we're still fucked.
It's still, yeah.
Trying to just see it physically get above the T-case, which it will. 100%, you go up.
Right.
All right.
Really notching it in
the you're just notching up there. We're going to box it in.
Yeah.
Devin had to do the same thing on his Type R. If any of you watched that, I should have remembered that. But this at least gives an idea. So next thing is we're going to pull this down, put this in with the T-case, and see if we got any fitment issues.
Right.
Let's do that. Put the oil pan on, and then we can get this thing over to Fab. And it sounds like they got their work cut out for them. Yeah. Just like that, we're a complete car again. I got to show them underneath. Oh. Jamie's trying to fuck you guys. He said we're done. Roll it out. On to the next.
Fab's problem.
Everything's back together enough to get to Fab. As you guys know, there obviously is no steering rack in it because that's going to have to get notched on the frame over there. I'd rather do that than start messing with the firewall. That's not too big of a deal there, but here we have subframe is all bolted back in place. Now transmission, the T-case fitment there, you can see right there. I think we're going to end up notching this anyways because it's holding the motor up right now anyways. So notch this, plate this, bring it down, give us clearance there, have a more, that's Justin.
Oh.
I hear the idle from anywhere. Have a better idea once it's over there, but here you have it. Subframe's in, T-case in a great spot. Obviously no rack, but we'll get there. This is at least bolted up to get the fab so we can get a better game plan. Condenser, I said we're going to replace it, but I put it on there because we need to know how far out the intercooler's got to be and whatnot. So this thing is ready to go for fab. I'll take a on top view, but it's about the same as what you're already seeing. I think we have a couple small things to do up top. We need to put that coolant port on the side of the head. Got to pull the studs out. Well, I got skilled at that. Yeah. James coming over to take over from Liv. I got used to doing it with the camera. So we do need to put, as I was mentioning, there's a K-chain part that goes on the side of the head. Gives us a lot more clearance than the factory unit. So I need to put that on for them over at Fab. Shift cables are already here. We already know where they're gonna go. We're gonna end up switching the shift selector off the old trans because then I can keep shifter in here. Yeah. Oh, you're putting it on the ground. And it's back on its own weight. But just a general look of it here. I think I've decided that I'm buying the AC tuck kit.
Yeah. I think that might
having this line here just doesn't look nice.
That's kind of what I'm running into too, is because it just
doesn't look that great.
Right.
So do that. I'm on the edge about the ABS relocation. I'll probably do a new clutch line, and yeah, but this thing's ready to roll over to Fab. What are you hiding? You want to come on camera?
Uh-huh.
He's all fresh cut, ready to go. God, I see that hairline going back.
Oh yeah, going away.
Don't worry, he gives me shit about mine constantly, guys. Why do you think I'm wearing a hat? So here we are. What do you think? What do you think? Good. Yeah, you didn't see all the shit show today to get here.
You got those on backwards.
Thanks. I'll put a formal complaint. Got that. Why is it on backwards?
Yeah.
They have to give me a B series plenum. This shit's good for like a K-swapped MR2. But yeah, the motor is definitely a little rocked. It's got to come back a little bit to get the angle right, but it's almost like straight up right now. Way to go, old man. You came at perfect time to get this thing over to Fab.
Fun.
With no steering rack.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you lemons, you just put them in Coronas. Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus. The bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment. The moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash. Bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane.